Welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. I'm John Garlick, filling in for Chris Wright and the sheriff, who are out doing sheriff and Chris Wright things. Anyway, it's good to be here with you. You guys have been working really hard this past week, and we'll bring the count up here. I think we've arrested 4 in the last week. That's fantastic. Our total arrest count for this show is 3,835 people brought to justice because of the hardworking efforts of the citizens of Calhoun County. And we thank you very much for that. We couldn't do it without your help. So please keep calling Crime Stoppers and letting us know what's going on. And you call, we haul. Now it's a special week coming up here. It's Talladega race weekend. So we all know that brings about 300,000 people to town. And they're all going to be driving on the interstate and driving around town and staying in the hotels. And some of them may be a bit over beverage. So we'd like you to have your patience and be extra alert on the highways this weekend for the guests from outside of our county, but also be alert and stay safe here in Calhoun County. And we'll be back in just a minute with the first half of our lineup and some really wonderful guests for our show this week. Stay with us.
Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
a crackhead,
drug addict,
alcoholic, meth freak,
a rich
like me.
I once was
homeless,
broken, sad,
just lost.
but now I am sober,
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
AOD Federal Credit Union. You already know their friendly staff and great loan products. So here's reason number 8 to choose AOD FCU, a new all-platinum Visa credit card. Call 1-800-637-0299 or visit AODFCU.com to start earning 1% cash back on purchases. Your good credit earns you a better rate. A new Platinum Visa card. Another reason you belong at AOD Federal Credit Union.
I have a lot of land that I have to keep up. I'd recommend Mahindra. I've never had any trouble with mine. Like I said, I do a lot of bush hogging. I do a lot of garden tilling. The service department has been great. Every time I've ever called or needed anything done, they have done it for me.
Hey folks, come see us at Foothills Tractor. We're your one-stop shop for anything you need. Locally owned, locally operated, give you the best customer service guaranteed.
Ready for a new ride? Get ready for Rig. I'm Rig A. Marole, and I am ready with all the fancy jargon, made-up expenses, marketing gimmicks, and flat-out lies that you've come to expect when you go car shopping. You want to pay way too much for a piece of junk like this? Get a load of me, Rig A. Marole, at your neighborhood used car dealer. I'll have you marolling off this lot in your new vehicle.
I'm Marty Boyles, and I guarantee no rigmarole here at Jacksonville Auto Sales. Just good cars and trucks at fair prices. We're in Jacksonville across from Walmart, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
Hi, I'm Katina Houston with Family Links, and this is the Family Tip of the Week. We are fast approaching Red Ribbon Week, October 23rd through the 29th. Red Ribbon Week is the oldest and largest drug prevention campaign in the country. Although the start and end dates can vary slightly depending on the organization and source, Red Ribbon Week generally takes place the last full week in October, with the weekends before and following the last full week included as appropriate celebration dates. Red Ribbon Week has been recognized nationally since 1988, when President Ronald and First Lady Reagan served as honorary chairs. Today, the Red Ribbon celebration brings millions of people together to raise awareness regarding the need for alcohol, tobacco, and other drug and violence prevention, early intervention, and treatment services. Red Ribbon Week serves as a vehicle for communities and individuals to take a stand for the hopes and dreams of our children through a commitment to drug prevention and education and a personal commitment to live drug-free lives. And let us not forget that Red Ribbon Week commemorates the ultimate sacrifice made by DEA Special Agent Enrique Kiki Camarena, who died at the hands of drug traffickers in Mexico while fighting the battle against illegal drugs to keep our children and our country safe. The 2016 Red Ribbon theme is YOLO, You Only Live Once. Be drug-free. This week is a great opportunity to expose students to the importance of being drug-free. So for more information on ways you can get involved or to find out more about the Agency for Substance Abuse Prevention, Family Links, or other Red Ribbon events, please contact us at 256-820-5911.
And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up on our lineup this week, Wendy Smith. Miss Smith, last known to be living in Anniston, she's wanted for probation violation on possession of a controlled substance and failure to appear for driving while a license was revoked. And meet Wesley Nelson. Mr. Nelson, last known to be living in Weaver, he's wanted for failure to appear on use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And this is Wade Borden. Mr. Borden, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance. Take a look at Jamarcus Willis. Mr. Willis, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to appear on theft by fraudulent leasing. And we'd like you to meet Albert Robinson. Mr. Robinson, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for probation revocation on assault third. And this is Edward Hundley. Mr. Hundley, last known to be living in Birmingham, he's wanted for probation violation on theft of property first, 6 cases of those. And last up for the first half of our lineup, Sarah Hopkins. Miss Hopkins, last known to be living in Calhoun, Georgia. She's wanted for failure to appear on obstruction of justice by using a false ID. And that's it for the first half of our lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show. And welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in the lineup that you might recognize. And if you did, please give us a call because we're always looking to bring some people down to our hotel for the weekend, if you don't mind. So, we finished with that part of the show, and now we have our guest, Jamaica Leverett with ASAP. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And so, why don't you tell us what ASAP means?
ASAP stands for Agency for Substance Abuse Prevention.
Excellent. And you're located in Anniston, yes?
We're located in Oxford, but we serve the Calhoun County area.
Very good. So, tell me about some of the programs that ASAP does.
Well, as far as some of the programs that we do, a lot of what we do is educationally based. We go into schools and we talk as far as prevention with students, and as far as one thing I like to emphasize is that, you know, if you don't start doing drugs, then you don't have to stop because it's harder to stop. We also have our prescription drug take-back day coming up this Saturday. And what that is Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. We try to encourage the community to safely dispose of their unused or expired medications.
Yeah, and that's very important. And we have Drug Take-Back Day a couple of times during the year, don't we?
Yes, sir.
And so you guys are having a site. Where is your site going to be?
We're going to be at Walgreens on Quintard in Anniston.
On Saturday from 10 to 2?
Yes, sir.
So we have a site. The Sheriff's Office has a site at the Quintard Mall. And I think there may be some other sites located around the county, but I'm not too sure. But also, throughout the year, people have, like we have in our lobby, we have a box that people can bring their medication in. And I'm not sure where the others, I think Anniston Police may have one. Do you know where those are?
Yes, sir. This Saturday, we will also be seeking to have a list of different drop-off locations that individuals will be able to drop off their unused or expired medications throughout the year.
So with drugs, if you don't start, you don't have to stop, right?
Yes, sir.
And one of the most dangerous things we have are prescription drugs laying around the home.
Yes, sir.
And so we want to make sure if they're expired, there's a couple of things going on with expired drugs. One, they could go bad, right? And sometimes expired drugs are deadly when they go bad.
Sir.
Yeah, so we don't want that to happen. And then sometimes they don't go bad. And some of the more abused ones tend to stick around, like some of the painkillers, don't they?
Yes, sir.
And then so we've got grandma and granddad may have some painkillers laying around, and teenagers get a hold of them. What do they do with them?
Misuse them.
Misuse them. They take them to school. Yeah, and that stuff is very addictive and can be very deadly. Now, So that's why drug take-back's important. Now, we don't want people flushing them down the toilet, do we? Why is that?
Because that's not safe, and we would like to safely dispose of them.
Which is putting them in the box so that we can send them off to the, I think the DEA is the one that ends up coming and picking them up, and they have safe ways of destroying those, and so they don't get into the groundwater and they aren't available to be to hurting everybody. So do you know how successful those take-back days have been for you in the past? How many pounds or so have you taken in?
I'm not sure exactly how many pounds have been taken in, but I know that it has been in numerous amounts that we have. So we hope to continue that, especially this Saturday.
I think in Calhoun County we've probably taken back, I know on our end we've probably taken back 30 pounds or more, I think last year. And interestingly enough, that poundage has decreased over the years. So we initially started taking in lots more pills, and then we dwindle down the home inventory, if you will. And so that's very successful. So yeah, we want to prevent kids from starting so they don't have to worry about stopping. But you guys have some programs in-house where you help kids that are in trouble with this, do you? Or it's just all prevention in the schools?
We do different prevention. We do go to community centers. We go to different schools as far as in the Calhoun County area. We have different programs throughout the year as far as that are targeted for just helping children to have something else better to do other than to do drugs.
So you go in the schools?
Yes,
and what kinds of stuff do you do? Do you go in during the day, like in a classroom setting, or do you have like a seminar or an assembly setting?
It depends. Some schools we have a seminar setting, and some schools we do classroom settings. Most of them are classroom settings, and we just show and help them to know the information that is out there about drugs and that could possibly prevent them from doing.
So one of the scariest things is how young our children are when they're first exposed to drugs. So what are you seeing in Calhoun County? What's the youngest age?
The youngest I've heard one of the children tell me that they know someone who started at the age of 5. Started to especially smoke cigarettes, and they progressed on to something else.
Yep, so cigarettes, alcohol, marijuana, and then into some of the heavier stuff.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're about to take a break. When we get back, we'll talk more about what kinds of drugs maybe we're seeing in Calhoun County and some more of the wonderful stuff going on with ASAP. But we'll be right back in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
AOD Federal Credit Union. You already know their friendly staff and great loan products. So here's reason number 8 to choose AOD FCU, a new all-platinum Visa credit card. Call 1-800-637-0299 or visit AODFCU.com to start earning 1% cash back on purchases. Your good credit earns you a better rate. A new Platinum Visa card. Another reason you belong at AOD Federal Credit Union.
Ready for a new ride? Get ready for Rig. I'm Rig A. Marole, and I am ready with all the fancy jargon, made-up expenses, marketing gimmicks, and flat-out lies that you've come to expect when you go car shopping. You want to pay way too much for a piece of junk like this? Get a load of me, Rig A. Marole, at your neighborhood used car dealer. I'll have you marolling off this lot in your new vehicle.
I'm Marty Boyles, and I guarantee no rigmarole here at Jacksonville Auto Sales. Just good cars and trucks at fair prices. We're in Jacksonville across from Walmart, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
I have a lot of land that I have to keep up. I'd recommend Mahindra. I've never had any trouble with mine. Like I said, I do a lot of bush hogging. I do a lot of garden tilling. The service department has been great. Every time I've ever called or needed anything done, they have done it for me.
Hey folks, come see us at Foothills Tractor. We're your one-stop shop for anything you need. Locally owned, locally operated, give you the best customer service guaranteed.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
A crackhead,
drug addict,
alcoholic, meth freak,
a wretch like me.
I once was.
homeless,
broken, sad,
Just lost.
but now I am
sober.
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
The Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Charmaine Davis. Miss Davis, last known to be living in Ohatchee. She's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a forged instrument, third, and theft of property, fourth. And meet Christy Davis. Miss Davis, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for probation revocation on possession of a controlled substance. And this is Jonathan Dutton. Mr. Dutton, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for probation violation on theft of property, first. And meet Jeffrey Couch. Mr. Couch, last known to be living in Brownsboro, Alabama. He's wanted for failure to pay on theft of property, first. And meet Thomas Bird. Mr. Bird, last known to be living in Oxford. He's wanted for failure to appear on possession of marijuana, second. And we'd like you to meet Julia Beam. Miss Beam, last known to be living in Ohatchee. She's wanted for theft of property, first, motor vehicle. And last up in our lineup this week, Sean Ostrander. Mr. Ostrander, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted for failure to pay on possession of marijuana, second. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you know the whereabouts of these folks, and we hope you do, please give Crime Stoppers a call at 256-238-1414. And so that was the second half of our lineup. Like I said, if you saw anybody on there you know, or you know where they are, call Crime Stoppers. It's anonymous. They'll give you a code number, and they'll email that, in fact, directly to me, and I disperse it to whomever needs it, and we go out and find them. So we're back with Jamaica Levinson from ASAP, the Agency for Substance Abuse Prevention.
Yes.
If you don't start, you don't have to stop.
Yes, sir.
And we got Drug Take Back Day this Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Really in lots of different places all over the county from 10 to 2, but yours is specifically where?
At Walgreens on Quintard in Anniston.
Walgreens at Quintard. So what they do is what? What do they do?
We'll safely dispose of expired or unused prescription drugs or pills, medications. Also, as far as with this effort, we would like to especially thank our Calhoun County Children's Policy Council and the Anniston Police Department for helping partner with us for these efforts.
Anniston PD partnering with lots of people to help out the stuff that's in Anniston, and of course the Children's Policy Council. Yeah, I sit on that board, so you're welcome.
Thank y'all.
But yeah, lots of good stuff. And so kind of Drug Take Back Day is the kickoff for Red Ribbon Week, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So tell us what's going on in Red Ribbon Week. Yeah.
For Red Ribbon Week, a lot of schools are having activities. They're having different dress-up days. As far as for ASAP, what we will be doing, we'll be having a photo competition. So if schools in the area, as far as with the different days that they're having, I know some of the schools I go to are having Nerd Day and Generation Day. So when your students dress up.
Wait, what's Generation Day?
They're going back and dressing the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. And
oh, so old guys like me day.
If you want to call it
that. Yeah. Okay, I get that.
But they're having different days, and so if teachers would like to take a picture of their students dressed up in their different days and spirit days, send them in. There will be a cash prize for the winning school, first, second, and third place. Submissions can be sent to agencyabuse@gmail.com.
Agencyabuse@gmail.com. Send your photos, any particular format or just any pic file will do?
Any pic file.
Fantastic, and they'll get awards.
Yes, sir.
So is that like for each school or for one school out of all the county schools or city schools? Or?
There will be a first, second, and third prize. So if, let's say, this first grade class sends in a photo from this school, then that school will receive that prize.
Very good. So before the break, you were saying that the youngest age that you were familiar with kids being exposed to drugs was 5 years old. Mm-hmm. I know that about 20 years ago now, the youngest age in California, and we all know what California is like, the youngest age in California was 8. So it's a bit disturbing that the age keeps going down, but unfortunately probably not surprising. And drugs are a problem all through the segments of our society. It's the basis of crime. People are stealing to support drugs. People are stealing the money that the drug dealers are making. I mean, it's bad all around.
Yes, sir.
And so some of the drugs we're running in from the law enforcement side, tobacco and alcohol are always out there. Alcohol is probably the most abused drug, don't you think? And then marijuana's coming in, but we've been seeing a lot of heroin the last year or so, and then these synthetic drugs, the synthetic marijuana's everywhere, and that's dangerous, right? I mean, that's bad stuff. What's that do to somebody?
It can make them hallucinate, make them delusional. It has a lot of different symptoms that some of these drugs don't even have.
And causes them to be suicidal.
Yes.
I mean, we've had some terrible experiences with these synthetics. And those are the things that the law has a hard time catching up with. We've pretty much got a good law now on synthetic marijuana, but there's other synthetics that are cropping up in the 24-hour gas stations, these little bumblebee pills that are like super caffeine, but they might have something else in them. And those are bad too, right?
Yes, sir.
And so the other message that we send to the kids is just because it's in a store and for sale doesn't mean it's safe, right?
Right.
So parents are the best anti-drug, right? That's the bumper sticker.
Of course.
So what advice would you have for a parent of a 12-year-old these days?
I think my best advice would be to educate them. You may or may not know what they know. So it's best to sit down and talk with them. Don't be afraid of what they may or may not know, but it's best to let them know what is out here and try to help them to prevent them from doing it.
So have a good conversation, right? A real good conversation. And that's what ASAP does, is educate. And you have programs for parents?
No.
You have
not
information
specifically,
then?
But we do have information, different information for parents. We have the clearance house. So if anyone would like to come by and get information from ASAP, you can come by. We have different pamphlets and information as far as that.
So how do they get a hold of ASAP?
You can call us at 256-831-4436, or you can come by the office at 1128 Edmar Street. We're in Suite A in Oxford.
Outstanding. And Seyram Selassie is the director, right?
Yes, he's the executive director.
He's the executive director. So we're really happy to have you on the show. We appreciate you coming down. Remember, it's Red Ribbon Week next week, and this Saturday is Drug Take Back Day all over the county at the mall and at the Walgreens, very good, and some other places around the county. So stay with us. We'll be back with the Crime Stoppers portion of the show and the Crazy Criminal in just a couple minutes. Stay with us.
AOD Federal Credit Union. You already know their friendly staff and great loan products. So here's reason number 8 to choose AOD FCU, a new all-platinum Visa credit card. Call 1-800-637-0299 or visit AODFCU.com to start earning 1% cash back on purchases. Your good credit earns you a better rate. A new Platinum Visa card. Another reason you belong at AOD Federal Credit Union.
Ready for a new ride? Get ready for Rig. I'm Rig A. Marole, and I am ready with all the fancy jargon, made-up expenses, marketing gimmicks, and flat-out lies that you've come to expect when you go car shopping. You want to pay way too much for a piece of junk like this? Get a load of me, Rig A. Marole, at your neighborhood used car dealer. I'll have you marolling off this lot in your new vehicle.
I'm Marty Boyles, and I guarantee no rigmarole here at Jacksonville Auto Sales. Just good cars and trucks at fair prices. We're in Jacksonville across from Walmart, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
I have a lot of land that I have to keep up. I'd recommend Mahindra. I've never had any trouble with mine. Like I said, I do a lot of bush hogging. I do a lot of garden tilling. The service department has been great. Every time I've ever called or needed anything done, they have done it for me.
Hey folks, come see us at Foothills Tractor. We're your one-stop shop for anything you need. Locally owned, locally operated, give you the best customer service guaranteed.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
A crackhead.
drug addict,
alcoholic, meth freak,
a wretch like me.
I once was
homeless,
Broken. Sad.
Just lost.
but now I am
sober,
Happy.
I'm found.
Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
The Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
Welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we ask you to put your deer stalkers on and help our investigators with these cases. First up, between October 1st and October 2nd, a gray Nissan Altima was stolen from a residence on Grayton Road South in Ohatchee. And sometime on October 1st, an outbuilding on Old Broadwell Mill Road was burglarized. Power tools were stolen from that location. And sometime between September 29th and September 30th, this residence on Nelson Avenue in Anniston was burglarized. They got away with a bunch of clothes. And between October 6th and October 7th, an enclosed trailer was broken into on Stadium Drive in Alexandria. They got away with about $1,200 worth of quarters. And sometime between October 15th and October 16th, 4 factory silver 5-spoke Ford Mustang rims and 4 Pegasus Xena tires were stolen from a vehicle that was parked at a business on Highway 431 in Alexandria. And sometime between October 9th and October 10th, this residence on Mitchellville Road in Ohatchee was broken into. They got away with assorted power tools. And on October 11th, Crystal Springs One Stop, located on Highway 204 in Wellington, was broken into. Video surveillance revealed 2 male subjects breaking into the business and stealing tobacco. And last up on our caseload this week, way back in January 31st, a burglary first occurred at a residence on Hollingsworth Road in Jacksonville. The suspects were a black male and a white male, and the suspects stole a large sum of money. So if you know anything about that old case and there's more recent ones, please give us a call at Crime Stoppers, 256-238-1414. Remember, we want your information and not your name.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
So we hope you looked at the Crime Stoppers portion of the show and maybe know something about those cases. We need all the help we can get on helping bring justice to those particularly criminal acts. Speaking of criminal acts, our crazy criminal this week is a young woman named Kawanda Glenn. I think we have her picture here. She's an interesting mom. She decided that it would be a great idea for her 7-year-old son and her to go for a drive. Unfortunately, she didn't feel like driving, so she let her 7-year-old drive. And apparently he did a pretty good job because nobody pulled him over, but she thought it would be a great idea to videotape the event. So she put out there on Facebook and other social media her video of her son driving her car all over town. And that video, of course, being the social media, got a lot of people's attention, including law enforcement and, more importantly, Department of Human Resources, who have subsequently charged mom with child neglect and endangerment. And so it didn't quite work out the way she wanted it to. So I don't know. If you're going to do something wrong, you probably shouldn't anyway, but you probably ought not videotape it and put it on YouTube. That's just advice from me. Well, we really appreciate you watching the show this week. We look forward to seeing you next week, but hopefully not in the lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.